think that the semi-final performance, as great as it was, kind of put an overhaul on how people saw his entire season. I think he was great this entire season, but I'm not gonna tell you that, like, in November, December, he was playing like a Ballon d'Or contender. But we don't talk about it. Like, we don't. It was so long ago that no one really cares to talk about it. All right, guys, what's up? We're back today. Eyebrows FC right here is going to have another opinion to say about football. All right. I know y'all love how much I talk about football and my opinions, but today I wanted to talk about something specifically. I wanted to talk about the top 5 for the Ballon d'Or. Y'all know how I feel about Lamine Yamal and that Ballon d'Or. All right. Those two go together like cookies and cream, man. I love that idea of him winning the Ballon d'Or this season. Do I think it's going to happen? Realistically, probably not. But I would, if I could vote, I would say Yamal. Me personally, just because of what I like in the game, what I personally, just like my opinion, appreciate about a player, and the eye test. I'm not gonna make the argument that there are players that don't deserve it more, because there are trophies and stuff that people do prioritize more, the statistics, I get it. It's a valid argument. I'm not gonna tell you that you're wrong for saying Yamal shouldn't win it. I just like how Yamal plays. I would give it to him. But I actually did want to talk about what is my top 5. Like, what do I think is actually going to happen? All right. Y'all know I want Lamine Yamal to win. I don't think that's going to happen. But I wanted to talk about the top 5 of what I think is going to actually end up being the actual rankings, because I've seen this list going around by Score 90 or whatever, and it's like literally a new list every 2 months. The list constantly fluctuates. So I think it really blinds people to like the overall season whenever you just see like it constantly changing. You just don't. It's like the perfect example. Mbappe has taken Rafinha's place in the Ballon d'Or rankings because of the Golden Boot. Basically, I don't get what's the merit on that. I mean, Rafinha put up 34 goals and 22 assists. That's like an unbelievable season for him. That's like Neymar and Messi era and Ronaldo era type numbers. That's crazy for him. And what? Because he didn't win the UCL. Now it's all gone. But we're gonna talk about it. All right, we're gonna talk about it. So at my number 5, I got Mo Salah. All right, I think Salah had a very early Ballon d'Or campaign, with obviously being on Liverpool was for a small window, I think, considered the best team in the world. This was around that time that PSG was still losing in the Champions League. Like, they were barely beating Man City. They lost to Arsenal. It was this era where it was like, it seemed that Liverpool was far and away the best team. And the best player on that team, I think no one would disagree, is Salah. He's 32, putting up 34 goals and 32 assists in all competitions. That's insane. That output returned in 52 games, that's unbelievable for him, right? I think the thing that really killed his Ballon d'Or shouts was the second that Liverpool met PSG in the Champions League. Nuno Mensch, man. This guy's a demon. This left back clamped some of the best right wingers in the world. Honestly, I wish we got to see Dembele versus Nuno Mensch, because I wonder how that would affect his Ballon d'Or status. But since they're on the same team and their national teams didn't meet, we'll never know. But after Nuno Mendes absolutely destroyed Mo Salah, his Ballon d'Or shouts literally disappeared. As soon as they're out of the UCL, they're like, well, that's it. It was a really far fall off for Salah. I still think his season is very incredible for what he could output for his age, especially in the league that he's in. He's averaging an 8.0 rating all season, which was unbelievable for him. I think 5 is fair. I don't see him winning it. I don't think a Prem alone is going to be enough to get him over the line, especially with some of the other contenders. But I don't think this is a bad season by any means from Salah. It would be really hard to do better than this, to be honest. He did very well. On my number 4 spot, all right, I got Pedri. Look, Pedri is probably the best midfielder in the world. I know there's different midfielders for different things. Like, he's not really a Jude Bellingham position. I know that's a debate that a lot of people have. A lot of people now are comparing him to like Vitinha, who's also very, very good. The thing is though, with Pedri and the thing with the Pedri and Bellingham debate, they're just two different positions. One is like a holding midfielder and one's an attacking midfielder. It's like they're having two completely different jobs. I always see Pedri as like, give me the ball, I'll control the tempo of the game, and everything goes through him. Bellingham is there to like finish the goal. Like, if there's no striker, he goes in the middle, he takes it. But I don't think comparing these two is fair, especially on the merit of stats because they're not the same thing. I've seen all the El Clásicos this season. I've seen them go against each other. I don't think Pedri and Bellingham are ever trying to do like the same role. Obviously, Pedri, when it comes to like the Ballon d'Or, the stats are non-existent. This is where the problem starts. If you are someone who values statistics a lot, then Pedri on paper makes no sense to be anywhere near the Ballon d'Or. Anyone who's watching the games can see, and you don't have to like love Barcelona to say this, he has such a huge impact on his both for Barcelona and for Spain. He is such a pace setter and someone who can just hold the ball and let the team work through him in a way that's so beneficial to everyone around him. He is very good at getting the ball where it needs to get or holding it when he needs to hold it. He has the maturity of a much older footballer. I mean, what is he, like 22? He's like around there? Dude, unbelievable stuff. Again, from the eye test, this guy's passing is unbelievable. His dribbling is magisterial. It's hard to find anyone who can really do better. Obviously, Vitinha is right now like the thing that they're comparing him to because of the Nations League and the PSG performances that Vitinha's had. I think that for the whole season, obviously, Pedri's probably been the better one out of the two. Like for me, I weigh player impact more than statistics, just because you get the pass before the pass that leads to a goal doesn't mean you didn't help the goal, right? I think that Pedri at 4, given that he doesn't really have the statistics and there's some of his players on this list with the very similar trophy cabinet with better stats, I don't know how I could put him higher than 4. Unfortunately, the Ballon d'Or is not just based on eye test, For me, him or Yamal are probably the best. Barca me rider, man. Look at him go. I'm gonna be real. Pedri at 4 just makes sense to me. I don't think that's a really controversial take. All right, this is where things get tricky. The top 3 honestly fluctuates completely based on, I think, the individual's opinion. It depends on who you like or who you dislike. Who do you like more? What do you appreciate more in a player? At number 3, I have Rafinha. I think that him being at number 3 makes sense. Also, I think it makes a lot more sense than Mbappe even sniffing the top 5, all right? Mbappe scored a shit ton of goals, I get it, but the output for a lot of goals was for nothing. They didn't win. Real Madrid was just stinky all around, man. Rafinha being at number 3, it's not, none of these top 3 are like definite. They really could change. Like, if there was still games going on that really, really mattered, like I know Brazil just qualified for the World Cup, but if there was still games going on for Barcelona, it would be like a closer thing. But Barcelona's not in the Club World Cup, so all we really are gonna see is PSG players, Real Madrid players in this Ballon d'Or conversation moving up still. Rafinha put an output of 34 goals and 22 assists. Hansi Flick turned this guy into a demon. I think the moment that solidified this guy was a superstar and a legitimate threat to big teams was the hat trick against Bayern. I think that was the first domino that fell that showed whoa, this team, this guy's him, all right? It makes me upset how even Barcelona fans, and honestly me included, we haven't really given Rafinha his flowers at all. After the UCL semifinal where they just lost, he immediately dropped. I think that his consistency in the season has been amazing. And this is what's so unfair about this award. I'm not going to say it's ever rigged or anything. You can think whatever. I don't think it's rigged. All right. But do I think the Ballon d'Or is losing its value? Yeah. And when I see stuff like this, drop almost 60 goal contributions, and then because they don't win one trophy, it's like nothing. It's like nothing happened. I think that's really shame. It's a shame that a lot of people see it that way because Rafinha is a great left winger. Hansi Flick knows exactly how to use him properly in that shape. He's averaging a 7.9 rating. That's, again, for a left winger, that's pretty incredible. I think that you could really fluctuate the top 3. Again, I can't re-say this enough. The top 3 can literally change by the day. Rafinha deserves to be in this top 3 conversation. For anyone who's forgotten about this season, you're doing yourself a disservice because he was amazing. I think the only problem, obviously, is that they only have the domestic treble. And losing that semifinal really was what killed his Ballon d'Or shouts, like as the winner. I mean, to be honest, guys, I don't know if we're going to see a season like this again from Rafinha in his career. I think, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I mean it in the sense of just the rest of the teams in Europe are just going to adapt by this point. And if Hansi Flick goes into the next season with the same tactics of the offside trap and just holding Rafinha up front and hoping Yamal Travella's it to him, it's not going to work forever. If Rafinha can't adapt his style or Hansi Flick can't adapt his style, then I don't think we're going to see anything like this from him ever again. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that he does do a lot better. Hopefully Hansi Flick can make some changes that, benefit him. But for now, for me, he's third. There's no one winning by a mile. All right. He's 3 for me. All right. The top 2. This is what everyone's talking about, including me. All right. I also talk about this. At number 2, I have Lamine Yamal. Now, I know this might come off as very overreactionary because of, the output that he's put on. I mean, a lot of people are saying he doesn't have the stats to back it up, but I'll say it again. For 18 goals and 21 assists in 55 games, that is not a bad output in any means. It's funny because even in the Nations League final where, he got clamped by Nuno Mendes, he still put on a pretty good performance. He still tracked back a lot. He still tried to win the ball a lot. He still tried to provide the ball into the box. He got like a 7.3 rating. All right. I know like a lot of people want to look at it as like a flop because he didn't win, but the truth is it's not that clear. Like it's not that much of a wow. Yamal ghosted. It was just Nuno Mendes was just great. My problem with this is, guys, I've seen how this award works. I'm not like, I want to say Yamal has like he does have a very real chance to win. He does. But when it comes to the history of how this trophy is dictated, I really don't see how Yamal wins it. When you have someone like Dembele who's won the quadruple and has better stats, are we really going to base this on just the eye test? There's been instances where, and like I'm not making a statement about it like in a definite sense, but in 2013, Ronaldo won it because he scored a hell lot of goals and Ribéry won everything. Messi won it in 2022 because of the World Cup, even though Haaland won everything. Like, I don't know how you dictate what weighs more. I feel like it's all dependent on the person, the individual. If you really prioritize international stuff, then it makes sense why Messi won in 2023. If you prioritize club stuff, you would have said Haaland won it by a mile. So now we're at this point where clearly Yamal plays very well for Spain. Against France, especially against Dembele, he played very well. But the fact that he didn't get the end result of the Nations League really does put a dent in, like, listen, there's someone out there with more goals, more trophies. It's like how do you keep this debate up? I know this guy is so good, and to be honest, I'm really not that worried about it because I am very confident that if he doesn't win this one, Lamine Yamal is going to win a Ballon d'Or. I really, really do think so. It doesn't have to be this one, which is kind of interesting because I think if Rafinha doesn't win this, I don't think he's going to win one at all. I know that I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being realistic from what I've seen and what I think is going to happen. I don't know if Rafinha can put a season like that ever again. He's 28? He's only going to get older. Lamine Yamal is 17. If he's already a number 2 in the Ballon d'Or ranking, this kid's got time. He can win it any other year. I think that if he were to win it, it would be really controversial. And honestly, I wouldn't be able to really I can defend it in the sense of I really do think Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now. But there's a player out there who's had a better season, and that's Dembele. It's just the truth. So for me, Lamine Yamal at number 2, it sucks, but the sport's not fair. It sounds harsh, but guys, I love this kid. Hold on, bro. Hold on. That's not what I just mean he's good. All right, I love watching him play. He's good. But I don't think this year is going to be the year that he wins the Ballon d'Or. I think this year had lots of necessary losses for him, bring him down to earth, feel that defeat, and he's only going to come back stronger. So, bright kid. He's got a hell of a future. For me, what I think is going to happen, I think he's number 2 on the Ballon d'Or. Obviously, there's only one other person left at number 1, and that is Ousmane Dembele. Dembele, guys, 49 games, 33 goals, 13 assists, and a quadruple, and he's in the Club World Cup, and I think PSGs are the favorite to win it. If they win it, that's a nail in the coffin. No debate. It's over. I don't know, guys. I don't watch Ligue 1. I'm not going to pretend I do. I'm really basing my opinion a lot of what I've seen from the Champions League and highlights. Like, I don't really watch Ligue 1. I don't take it that serious. I feel like a lot of people feel that way, but regardless of how I feel about it personally, it's a top 5 league. He has a good output when it comes to, he has the stats, he has the trophies. Guys, it just makes sense. And also, Dembele's game, he's a complete attacker. He has turned into a goal-scoring machine this season. I don't know how, because at Barcelona, he was, ballooning it. Here, now at PSG, he has figured out how to finish. He can assist. He can track back. Guys, he's in his prime. Like, I think this is the best Dembele we're probably ever going to see. I really can't think of, like, a non-biased, rational reason on why Yamal should win it over him. On paper, it just doesn't make sense. I think Dembele is a good, like, if he wins it, I think it's a fair winner. I think the problem with last year was everyone thought the same thing. It's going to be Vinny, and then it was Rodri, and everyone thought, oh, it's a robbery, whatever. I don't think this, I think we are very lucky to be in this top 5 conversation because it's so close. It's really not what it was, where it was just a blowout with one guy. We're at a point where it really could go to any of these guys, and any in the top 5, I think the only one that would be like kind of like strange would be Pedri. But if Salah, Rafinha, Lamine, or Dembele win it, I don't think I would be like, oh, they don't deserve it. They all did really, really well, and that's a result of just great football that we've gotten all season, and I think we're lucky for that. Overall, guys, I think Dembele at number 1 just makes sense from what we've seen in history. Again, I think right now, in this second, Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world, but I'm going to be honest, guys. I think there's a lot of recency bias for Lamine Yamal because he did have an unbelievable semifinal. All right, and I think a lot of people took that, and he's been great all season. He has. But I think the semifinal really, I don't want to say blows it out of proportion, but it gives people this, maybe people who haven't watched every game, right? Or who don't watch every La Liga game or every Lamine Yamal game. They think this is like a projection of every game, and it's not. Lamine Yamal has had a few bad games. But, like, I think that the semifinal performance, as great as it was, kind of put an overhaul on how people saw his entire season. I think he was great this entire season. But I'm not going to tell you that, like, in November, December, he was playing like a Ballon d'Or contender. But, we don't talk about it. Like, it was so long ago that no one really cares to talk about it. Honestly, guys, I think Dembele at number 1 is just a deserving winner. It just makes sense. And I have no reason to argue against it. So I think that's my top 5. I'm going to go Mo Salah, Pedri, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Dembele. That's my top 5. Let me know what you guys think about the Ballon d'Or. Do you think it's losing credibility? Do you think it's unfair? What do you guys think? Do you think someone else should win it that's not in the top 5? Maybe you're a Madrid fan and you're just saying, where's Mbappe number 1? Well, he's not on my list, but let me know what you guys think. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace.